financial, um, put ourselves in a better financial situation and all that stuff. And, positive mind thinking. This book is really cool because I like to think of it, I say it all the time: when we're agents, we're professionals at what we do. And this book teaches us to be a professional at what we do every single day. And that's live life, right? This book teaches you to be a professional at living your life. And I really love that about this book. It teaches you to prep for yourself in the morning. It teaches you to prep at night and how you're mentally going to be ready for the morning. And hopefully all of y'all are reading it. And if you're not, it's never too late to grab it and start reading it, because it's not so much that this book magically changes your life. And he says it in there all the time. It teaches you the steps that you have to do to prep and become a professional life liver, right? Is that a word? Life liver?
I like it,
Um,
man.
and it's really cool because it's done so easily. It's wake up an hour before you normally do to prep for your day. Like, there's no secret to it, right? Like, none of us have to go to school. None of us have to change anything miraculously and convert our whole world, dip money into it. No, it's set your alarm clock an hour earlier and you can change so many things. And I hope y'all really get that out of this book. I'm a huge believer in making things so simple. And this book simply is prep for your day, right? And it starts at night. And one thing that I love about the book is that it teaches you on your sleep method, right? Because um, I just talked to a lot of people, and some people are, hey, you need 8 hours of sleep. I need 10 hours of sleep. I need 2 hours of sleep. What I love in this book, it says something I've always, it doesn't, just sleep whatever you need, right? And tell yourself you're going to be great in the morning, because I hear it all the time when somebody, because life happens, right? My babies are up all night throwing up, or you got a flat tire and you didn't get home late, or your plumbing happened at work at home and now it's a late night. But before you go to sleep, it's as simple as saying, hey, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna be great, right? I'm glad this happened right now because I took it out of my day for tomorrow. And it's 2 hours of sleep. The worst thing you can do is say, oh, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna suck. Like, I'm only going to get 30 minutes of sleep, or I'm only going to get 6 hours of sleep. And it's not true. It's whatever you prepare yourself of how you're going to wake up. And it's so true, right? All our other books teaches us that our mind controls how we feel and what we do. And if you take those into consideration, and what this book tells you is, hey, I'm going to, I'm going to sleep at 2 a.m., but I'm going to wake up great at 4:30. Right? And I hope y'all understand that. I'm going to wake up great at 4:30 because I'm not preparing myself mentally to be like, oh, the alarm clock woke up and now what am I going to do for the day? I'm ready to go, because you teach yourself, right? Or you're prepping yourself. Hey, this is going to be a great morning. I'm excited. Even that, right? Telling yourself you're going to be excited about tomorrow, because we get to do such a cool thing here at Symmetry, right? We get to help families. We're on our own schedule. And I hope y'all truly understand that. I'm excited every single day I wake up, because I get to control my life with the job that I have, or my career here, whatever you want to call it. I'm excited because I control my own time. I get to say if I work today, I get to say what time I work today. And I get to say if I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to be prepped, ready to go, and I'm going to be excited about it. That being said, I'm going to talk about 3 really cool things out of the book that I like, that I think all of y'all can take and really make it your own, because that's something that he's really big on, right? Because some people say, I'm not waking up at 4 in the morning, or I barely wake up at 10 a.m. So 9 a.m. is a big stretch for me. He teaches us that it doesn't matter what time you do this, as long as you prep for your day, you can be a professional life liver. Because that's the true secret, is prepping for your day. That's how come it works for absolutely everybody, as long as you give yourself some extra time. And I love that he takes everything off the table for anyone that's going to complain or say they can't and don't have time, because he even has a 6-minute one that I'll go over a little bit to get everything, all the excuses out of the way. The first one is making sure you have a good schedule, right? And he calls it the lifesavers. And he makes sure you have you get to touch everything, because this book has a lot of things, right? Affirmations, visualization, exercise in the morning, read your book. And he uses the acronym SAVERS in there, and he kind of sets it up for everybody, right? You wake up in the morning and you have 5 minutes of silence, right? 5 minutes of affirmations, 5 minutes of visualization, 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reading, and then 5 minutes of scribbling, journaling, whatever you want to call it. But that's just a great setup to start in the morning. And a cool little thing here in the office, Chris, we started doing it. You know, we're getting there, and I'll go over those phases that we're there, or that we're going through. But even just from the beginning of the month, just changing our diet, you know, trying to get that schedule set for everyone, because we all wake up at different times and everyone's doing different things. But myself, from the beginning of the month to here, I've already lost 15 pounds, which is really cool.
That is awesome, buddy.
Yeah. You know, we've picked up exercise. We've gone hiking. I think I've sent you a couple pictures out there.
Yep.
And it's just really cool because, like I said, it goes for everybody, and anyone can do this system at any time of the day and at any schedule. And I can't say that enough, because everyone will pick up this book and read through it and be like, I'm not waking up at 4 in the morning. That's not what he's saying. He's saying be a professional life liver and plan for your day. That's really what he's saying, and that's what I get out of it. Okay. That's for an hour, right? So if you wake up an hour before you normally do, that's what you can do in an hour. Then he's got the people that say, hey, I don't have time for that. I have 4 kids and I have 2 dogs and I have 2 businesses just like me, right? So now you only got 6 minutes. He has a 6-minute setup for us, right? You wake up, the first minute you envision your goals. The second one is your daily affirmations, a minute of that. The third one is a minute of visualization, what you want to do for the day, your goals, your vision board. You know, you're psyching yourself up and getting excited in 6 minutes. 4 is being grateful and writing it down. When you write down what you're grateful for that day, it'll change everything, because you can't be upset for the rest of the day. I guarantee you. You know, I can't be upset if I'm grateful for my 4 kids, my little car, not an iPad. You know, you can't be, it's just physically impossible to be upset for the rest of the day if you're grateful from the beginning. Try it out. Reading for a minute, you can knock out at least 1 page of a book. Okay. I'm a horrible reader and I can't. And then finally is move for 60 seconds. You'll be surprised if you literally just run in place for 60 seconds, how much that'll change your day. Because you'll be hyped up. It's just great energy. And that's a 6-minute miracle morning. There's not anyone on here that can't tell me you don't have 6 minutes to change your day, right? I always go knock out that 1 hour, but if you don't, there's 6 minutes. Everybody's got 6 minutes. You're probably on your phone on Facebook in the morning for longer than 6 minutes, okay? Then the next part that I'd like to share is the making a habit, right? Everyone teaches us, you know, it takes 21 days to make a habit. You know, his theory is a 30-day breakdown, which really helps, and it's a lot better to keep it going, right? So he says how to change your life, a habit mastery strategy, right, in 30 days. And it really just, like I said, it teaches us how to prep for our day. You know, so if you're going to prep to change your life in 30 days, what does that look like? So your first 10 days is the unbearable stage, right? It's hard, right? I did it at the beginning of the month. I didn't want to eat what they wanted me to eat. We started meal prepping, Chris. It was horrible. I was hungry all day. I don't know why they do that to me. Carrots. I hate carrots right now, but it is what it is. right? So the first 10 days is just hard. You got to fight through it. And 10 days is not long. Just get it out of the way, right? Then your next 11 to 20 days is, he calls it the uncomfortable stage, right? Because you've now made it your first 10 days. So now you're uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable, right? So you're starting to see some traction. You're a little proud of yourself because you've gone through it for 10 days. This is where commitment becomes the biggest stage, I think, because you've done it for 10 days. Can you commit to continue to do it every single day? Because your first 10 days, it's just like, I want to do this, I want to change. But then it's like, hey, I've done it for so long. I did it for 10 days. You know, I can take today off, or I can take tomorrow off, or, hey, you know what, my kid's party was, and I'm going to wake up late today. It, you know, whatever you're changing. But this is where your mind has to be stronger than what you're doing, right? Because commitment is not just getting up and do it. It's saying, this is part of my life every single day now. And this is what I want to do, or this is how I want to be. So, you know, biggest in the big picture is prepping for your life, right? So you're 11 to 20 days into it. Are you committed to change your life every single day? Like, is this the person you want to be? And do you want to be a professional life liver, right? Then the next stage is the unstoppable. And this is where it really gets cool, because now we're at the 21, you know, it's a habit, right? We've created a habit. We've done it for 21 days. And most people tell you to stop right there. And that's not what he teaches us. This is where you get to enjoy the habit that you've created. Because again, the biggest mistake you're going to do is uncommit yourself and say, hey, you know what? I've done it for 21 days. It's a habit. I can take today off, right? You can't. People that are super successful didn't do it in 21 days, right? People that created millions or created a statement and a change in whatever life they wanted did not do it in 21 days. So don't think creating a habit in 21 days is going to change your life, because it's not. You created a habit, and then 21 days later, you stopped it. That's what you did, okay? You have to continue, especially those next 10 days. And it's really cool because now you start to enjoy it, right? I said earlier, I hated carrots because that's what I had to eat for the first 10, 20 days, right? Now I enjoy a carrot, right? Now when I'm hungry and I walk to my office and I see a chocolate bar or I see something else, my habit or where I'm proud of saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to make the decision because I want to be proud of what I'm doing and grab a carrot versus a chocolate bar or whatever it may be, right? Enjoy the habit that you created. And really, it's where you become unstoppable, right? Because if you're doing it for, hey, you know what, I'm going to make so many dials in a day, right? Because the biggest thing here, guys, is when we read these books is making it ours. And whatever you learn for the day is applying it in your life and applying it at work, right? So if daily I'm doing so many dials, I'm going to continue to do them. This is where you make that decision. If I don't want to dial today, I'm going to dial today, or I get to dial today because it's my new me, right? This is how I live my life now. Again, really what I love about this book actually really is, I've said it 100 times already, it teaches us to become a professional life liver, right? I think the three biggest things that I hope y'all get out of this book is prep for your life, because part of my language, shit happens, right? Things come up. You know, I have to go to this barbecue because it's my kid's party or whatever it may be, right? So you cheated for that day or whatever it may happen. The point is, wake up tomorrow and prep for the day and live the day that you want to live, right? So you're able to make a mistake and continue to do it again. You can start over every single morning. We get a reset button 365 days a year. I hope y'all understand that. You get a reset button 365 days a year to live your morning miracle, your morning life. I mean, just change your life forever, right? So if you made a mistake and you fell off the wagon or whatever you want to call it, tomorrow you get to start again. And if you follow what he teaches in the book, you get to tell yourself tonight that tomorrow's the day. And you get to wake up and make it the day, because we control absolutely everything we do. The next one is plan your day, and you'll see your accomplishments, right? So in your morning miracle or your afternoon miracle, whatever you want to do, is making sure when you're journaling. I like to put it in the journaling part is what I need to accomplish today, right? Your main goals, and then what you like to, and making sure you commit to hitting those goals every single day, right? So they're small things, because it's little things that will change your life. Life is hard, but I hope y'all get this out of the book is you got to enjoy it. Okay. A lot of bad things happen, man. People get all kinds of crazy things and sicknesses. And, we get into situations like right now, who would have thought we were living through a pandemic? And, it's how we wake up every single day and the decision we make in the morning of what we're going to do in it. Right. So I hope y'all understand that you get to wake up and hit reset every single night. It's like Groundhog Day. You get to wake up every single day and live a new life, and you get to make those decisions. And that's what this book truly teaches us is how to prepare for today in an hour or in 6 minutes, whatever time you got. So don't make an excuse, because even if you wake up late, you get to say, hey, in 6 minutes, I'll prep real quick for what I want to do and how I want to see my day go, right? Because you got your visualization in there, your affirmations, and you get to journal. So you get to decide how that day's going to go. So really become a professional life liver. That's what this book teaches you. That's all I got, Chris.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. The first time I read this book was several years ago, and I've been a personal producer out in the field, as many of you guys are. And I remember reading it for the first time. And I remember my health habits at the time. I'd have a good day in the field. I'd write 5,000 in premium. It's 10:30 at night. I'm coming home. Wendy's is about the only thing open, or McDonald's is about the only thing open at that time. I see the spicy chicken sandwich, and I love spicy chicken sandwiches. The large order of fries, yes, but I wanted the extra large order of fries. The big gulp, yes. I wrote 5,000 in premium. I deserve it, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm the man. You know what I mean? I'm listening to Delilah on the radio. I got my emotions flowing, man. I'm going down the interstate. Hey, and I kept doing that process over and over. And then I realized that process was changing me, though. Then I was more lethargic early in the morning, and I wasn't getting my day started the way I needed to. And then I read this book, and it's like, well, I was a good personal producer, but I wasn't maximizing my potential. I didn't really grow a business. Does that make sense? But I wanted to grow a business while being a personal producer. So I was like, what's ways that I can create more energy? And I started reading books like this, and it started saying, start valuing the health benefits and energy consequences of the foods we eat as much more than the taste of the food we eat. And I was like, all right, I got to change my way of thinking. If I want to grow to something different, I got to become something different. So now, Joe, you spent time with my house. All I eat in the morning for breakfast is a smoothie. What does this book recommend? Either a very light breakfast, something healthy, or a smoothie. Guess what I do? I drink a smoothie every morning to start my day. I'm very disciplined on that. I'm not saying that's what you got to do. I'm just saying that's what I did to create a different outcome, because what that started to create was more energy. And something I was having trouble with mentally is like, a lot of times personal producers, we can fool ourselves that we don't have much more time beyond personal production, when in reality, it takes us about 20, 25 hours a week to do our personal production, which compared to most jobs or anything out there, that's like nothing, right? And we're making 3, 4, 5 grand a week in personal production, 20, 25 hours a week. What I really started to realize is I'm not organizing my thoughts. And the book even teaches you this. Start a to-do list the day before. It's talking about living life purposely. And so instead of keeping everything in my mind where I was like, man, I got to remember this, I got to remember that, I started my next day that evening before that next day, and I just wrote a simple to-do list. And a lot of people, Joe, this blows their mind that it's that simple, but I'm like, man, I just make a to-do list of the things that I need to do for the next day. And guess what? I just continually do them. Tina works in my office. She's worked with me for 6 years. She knows I live off to-do list. I was like, is it on a list? If it's on a list, all I got to do is check my list off. And that's as simply as thing. And it's that consistent effort over time that is lent to some pretty incredible things. And in that consistently eating better. Now, I used to drink sodas. I drink about 1 soda, maybe 2 sodas a month now. And it's a change I made. If you guys see me, all this water right here is not by accident. I drink 96 ounces a day. I even count my ounces. Why? It's about half my body weight in water. It makes me less hungry, but also guess what it does for me? It gives me more energy. Y'all with me? Keeps me hydrated. Y'all with me? And stuff like that. I love what it said about eating a light lunch, because if you eat a heavy lunch, it says the digestion of the body, digesting big foods, it makes you drowsier, it makes you sleepier, because it takes so much of the body's energy to digest that food. So I just hope you guys really take this stuff to heart, because what we're teaching you is a way to change your lifestyle to change your life. And if you do that in company with what Symmetry has as a platform to simply go out and help families, it's going to create more energy so you can go out and help more families. As a byproduct of the more energy and helping more families, do you think, and this is just a question, do you think you and your life and your family's life will change? Because keep in mind, you help one person a day, you're making on average $400, $500 a day. If you change that simple number to helping 2 people a day, you're making $750 to $1,000 a day. I don't know about y'all. I don't know where you came from. Like I was working on a cross dock before I did all of this, and my maximum income for a year was $42,000. I promise you, I worked harder at that physically than I did here. I just had to change my mind mentally to see myself at a different light. And I pray that's what these books do for you guys. And if y'all want to know, like, because a lot of people say, well, God, I wish they'd just train me about the other stuff. And I'm just like, if you get your mind right, the rest of it will fall in line. And that's the reason we start out with Book of the Month each and every week. So kudos to you, Mr. Joe Martinez, guys. Super stud. He's going to be doing the new agent call tomorrow. Keep in mind, folks, this guy helping families last year make $240,000 on his own pen. That's a result that we look for in business. If you're a new agent, I'd plug you into tomorrow's call. I'd listen to him. I'd take notes. But not only take notes, my challenge is, when he gives you and provides you the information that helped him do that, will you actually take action? Not for me, not for the AOs, not for the KLs, for you, your family, your kids, your legacy. That's who you need to do it for, nobody else. And if you do that and you do it enough over time, you'll be amazed at what the platform of Symmetry can do for you, do for your family. So that's my battle cry to you. Appreciate you, Joe, man. Thank you for the human being that you are, buddy. All right. So, Mr. Elijah Crujo, trying to unmute you, buddy.
I got you.
You got me loud and clear?
I got you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. It says you're still muted on mine, but I'm going to make you a spotlight video here, my man.
There we go. Can you guys hear me okay? Is that good?
I hear you fine. For some reason, I can't make you a spotlight video.
Oh,
And
it looks like I'm the spotlight video on my end.
Okay, maybe it's just my screen. Tina, you got him spotlight video on yours?
Joe's giving me the head nod, so I think we're good. Did we lose Chris? Chris just canceled his video. There, he's back. He's back.
Can you see me?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
I'm back. I can see you now. I've got you muted on the big screen, or you on the big screen. Are you good?
I'm good, man.
It says my internet connection for some reason is unstable, even though I'm here in the office. Well, Elijah, hey, I just want to say to you, buddy, appreciate the example you set for not only us as a group, but also Symmetry Financial as a whole, man. This month, already 18,000 on your own pen. You're averaging, we've had 3 weeks of turning, so you're averaging a little bit over 6,000 a week on your own pen, going out and helping families, man. So I just appreciate the example you set for everybody out there. And I wanted to, I'd had a few questions ready for you this morning, because I knew when I had you on the call, I want to take advantage of you being on here, buddy. What do you think, Elijah? Now, first, how long have you been with us for Symmetry? Let the new people know.
I got my license May of 2018. Got started with Symmetry August of 2018. So about a year and 5 months, if I'm doing my math right. Year 6 months, something like that.
Yep. And most of it's been part-time, I would say. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. How many hours a week are you still working at your family's coffee shop right now?
We just got my hours reduced a little bit. I'm averaging about 15, 16 hours a week helping with the family business
So,
outside of this.
so keep in mind, folks, and here's a challenge of reality. He works 15, 16 hours a week currently as a barista. Is it
And
right?
head
Is it a
trainer.
barista? Huh?
Yeah, barista, head trainer, and I do the marketing for the shop as well.
Yeah, so
yeah.
marketing, barista, head trainer, the dude knows his business, but he's helping his family with the current business. I know you've been averaging about 23 hours a week doing all this, and you're our number 3 writer year to date. What do you attribute, what has been a key to your success this month in the field this past 3 weeks? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of things. I actually just wrote a couple things out because that's a question I haven't even asked myself until you texted me. And so I'd say the biggest thing for me, Chris, is I'm hungrier. I'm hungrier now than I feel like I've ever been in this business. I've been able to do a lot on a part-time scale, and my capacity at committing probably 60 or 70% to Symmetry Financial Group has yielded some decent results. And seeing that, I was comfortable for a little bit, and the thought came in my head, well, what if I commit 100 or 110% to this? Like, I could kick some serious tail. And so I got hungrier. And I'm hungrier now than I've ever been. And now is also the biggest time I've seen excuses come up in this business, even for myself. With the, I don't know, like the season of the life that we're in, 2020 has been wild. And the second biggest key for me is I had to start leading myself and recognize that just beyond the fear that I was having towards the obstacles that were in the way, beyond that fear is the freedom that I wanted to experience. And I couldn't get to that, and I couldn't overcome those barriers that I was fearing without first leading myself. And so in April, a little bit of transparency here, I sucked at telesales, guys. Like, I was garbage. You put me in front of somebody, I could sell anybody. I could sell a policy on your cat if you had a dog. And with telesales, I was just terrible. I did 11 grand in April. And for me, that's not a lot. Like, I think if I'm doing 11 grand, I'm sleeping. Like, I'm slacking doing that. And I wasn't consistent in April at picking up the phone. I wasn't consistent at sitting with the right number of families in order to produce. And so I had a conversation with Grant, and I just needed to confront the excuses that I was making for myself. And I really appreciate him kind of calling me out. He was very candid. And that was huge for me to do the work that I needed to do. The third key, I'd say, Chris, is I started guarding in May. I started guarding the things that were draining my energy and increasing things that filled my bucket, kind of like the miracle morning.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to double down on things that were giving me life, because this is a difficult business. And as big of an opportunity as we're facing now with telesales being huge, it also presents its own level of difficulties. And so if you don't take care of yourself, it's going to be really difficult for you to take care of the families that you're meeting with virtually. And so that was something I also, that's probably the third thing. Fourth and final key to the production success I've seen in May is I realized that the strength that I wasn't using, I was losing. And so if I wasn't dialing enough, I wasn't going to be getting any better. If I wasn't sitting with the right number of people, I would lose that in-person skill. And so if you're on this call and you're struggling in any aspect of this business, you can raise your hand. I am. And you need to double down on what you suck at. And that's what I started doing. If you suck at dialing, pick up the phone and dial them more. You're not going to get better making 57 dials over the course of 6 hours and talking to 2 people. I'm not going to call anybody out. You know who you are. That was me. And so you need to double down on what you suck at. If you suck at locking the appointment down and writing the app, you need to book so many appointments that the only option is to write applications. If you suck at using technology and all you write is paper apps, you need to take time to learn Zoom, learn e-apps, call the carriers, and all that's required. I sucked at telesales, and I did close to double what I was doing in the field now to get the results that I'm seeing. And I had to switch from telesales to just doing it over Zoom. And so that's what I'm doing, man.
Yeah, so you went from virtually the telesales portion, just so everybody out there clarify on this. The telesales would be me calling Elijah, just run an appointment on the phone. You're saying the majority
Yep.
of your appointments now are Zoom sessions. Is that correct?
100% of them over Zoom. I don't care if the person's 84 years old. I ran one last week. They were 84. She ran the Zoom appointment from her Samsung cell phone.
Boom. Well, wait a second. No, wait a second. I'm going to give you a big excuse right here. I talked to a bunch of older people and they don't know how to use Zoom. How do you overcome that?
Okay. Okay, Chris. Yeah. I spoke with a lady last week. She didn't even have a computer. And so what I'll do, you got an email?
Yep.
Perfect. So what I'm going to do about 10 minutes beforehand, our appointment's at 1. You'll get an email from me about 12:45, 12:50, and it's going to have a Zoom link. I'm going to call you, and I'm going to walk you through it. And there's not been a single person that I haven't been able to do this with you, Chris. And so I'll just call you a couple minutes beforehand, and we'll walk you through it. Super easy.
Boom. Boom.
The only time I haven't been able to do that is if they don't have an email, and I've not met with anybody. I think there's maybe even one person who didn't have an email, and then we were gonna do it over the phone. When I called them, they didn't answer, so it's like
Yeah. And legit, they know somebody in their family that has an email.
Exactly.
You
I
with me
ran
that
one
can be
appointment.
there with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ran one over Zoom with the lady's grandson, and she helped walk her through it because he had an email and she didn't, and he was living with her. And so if they don't have an email, I ask you, okay, does anybody else live there with you? Sweet. What's their email?
Yep.
So easy.
Yeah. And you gain more confidence from them as well by being that professional and guiding them through the process of what they need to do. And you really gain that aspect of me and you. This is such more of a connection than it would be if it's a conference call, because I get to see Elijah Carujo. I get to see him interacting with me. And I just think for a lot of you out there, if you're just doing telesales, don't get me wrong. If you're doing it and it's working, we love you, hug you, keep doing what you're doing. But if you are, I'm telling you, be open to changing and get more Zoom sessions, because I think it could be a valuable asset, because a lot of you guys out there, your most valuable asset is you. You're the ability to help families and see people face to face. So I love this interaction. So anything else you want to add to that before I go on the next question?
Yeah. If you're telesales over the phone sounds easier. The concept of calling somebody and doing it all over the phone, it has been done. But here's something I will point out. The people who have done the most in terms of telesales, in terms of like booking appointments and running them, they're not writing as much as the people doing it over Zoom. They're also getting a lot more people canceling policies. My retention this year has been ridiculous. Year to date, I think I've maybe had 4 policies cancel, and it was because their jobs were affected. And like doing it over Zoom, I share my screen with them. I go through the PowerPoint off the SFG website, work up their options. It keeps it timely, ordered, organized. It's official. And then I think Zoom is better than telesales as well, because you get the FaceTime, like you said, Chris, and there's a lot of scams going on right now because people are getting government money and they're weary. And so if you call an older individual out of the blue and you start talking about insurance and costs and stuff like that, instantly their guards are up. They're like, hold up, I don't like this. But if you do it over Zoom, you show them your license number, like it's official. And so I switched to doing that. In April, I only did telesales. I outdid what I did in April and May in the first 3 weeks. And all I switched was doing it over Zoom.
Yeah.
Same leads, everything.
Yeah. Same leads, everything. I love it, buddy. So, and we're always big on cornerstones here. We have 4 cornerstones we know of success here at Symmetry Financial. And, I challenged you yesterday when we were texting back and forth. It's just, so what part of the cornerstones were key to your success this month? Is there anything you can attribute that one of our people could take away from the 4 cornerstones that you think is a key for your success here?
Hugely. It's number 3. Commitment to ongoing self-improvement. And there's several categories within that cornerstone. And if you don't know what the 4 cornerstones are, get on the SFG website. It's under guides and scripts. Print it off. You need it. But number 3, it says work on yourself more than your business. And so I've been reading more now during the past 8 weeks of quarantine than I ever have. I'm working on myself. The second piece is be a student of the SFG system. I go through Fast Track about 4 times a year for myself, and I already know this business. The third part is plug into everything. It's the number one priority over sales or recruiting. Is the conference calls, the meetings, all that jazz. The fourth is probably the most important one to me right now, and that's adapt quickly. That's been the hardest thing for me because being in an insurance industry, like people are creatures of habit. And as new as I am to this industry, I already have habits with carriers and products I like writing with, the way I build rapport. And so needing to adapt quickly was the hardest piece. And that's huge in this cornerstone. And then the fifth one is take 100% responsibility for your life. And that goes into the excuse piece. If you're making excuses for why you can only make 50 dials in a day, or if you're making excuses for the fact that your budget for leads is $26 or some crap, or if you're making excuses for people just won't answer the phone, like you're not taking responsibility for it. And that's okay. Like if you got to manage your expectations with what it is you're wanting. If you want to run this as a hobby, then make all the excuses you want, because you can make excuses to not golf. But if you have family or like rent to pay, if you have people relying on you, then that's a very selfish approach to take to life, to make excuses that you're not going to do what's difficult because it's uncomfortable. And so take 100% responsibility of your life. It literally says verbatim, embrace the hardships of this business and celebrate the successes. And so if you're not doing that, it's something I had to do, because in April I would make a ton of excuses. And that's when Grant called me out. He's like, look, man, what's going on? You're sucking. And I just had to own up to it. And I wasn't taking responsibility. And then I realized, like, okay, I need to get my crap together. I'm better than this. And if I don't push myself, I'm not gonna grow at all. I'm not gonna get better. So cornerstone number 3.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Well, I appreciate the example you set, man. That's beautiful. Thank you, Joe Martinez. Thank you, Elijah Carujo. Everybody have a great week. One quick thing before we get off here. The temporary states, they have opened up a lot more states for temporary licenses. Your agency owner or your key leader has that information on new states that have opened up. Get with them today if you're recruiting in another state, if you want to know. Also, agency owner, key leaders, if you guys hang on here just for a couple of minutes, we'll do about a 10-minute quick call with you guys, and appreciate everybody else. Everybody have a great week. Thank y'all. Thank you, Elijah. Have a good one, sir. Thank you, buddy.
See you guys.